So we have Jonathan here from Netskope, and we're going to talk about the threat landscape in the region, their presence at GITEX. So how are you, Jonathan, today?
Very well, thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you. So we'll start with a brief about your presence at GITEX. What kind of products and solutions are you focusing on?
Absolutely. So Netskope is a cybersecurity cloud provider, and the main reason that we're here at GITEX is to showcase the breadth of our platform. So recently we've been sort of acknowledged as a leader of SSE, so that's Secure Service Edge, which is the combination of multiple facets of security, really, to allow organizations to get data and their users, regardless of where they are, onto resources that are based in the cloud. And we give them visibility and security around that transaction. But recently we've invested into completing our SASE architecture, and I'm throwing a lot of acronyms at you here, Chris, but SASE is something that is really very, very hot topic at the moment. I'm sure you're aware. It's this convergence of networks and security as organizations are looking at, well, how do they deal with the big challenges of today and sort of trying to embrace the need to offer secure hybrid working environments, something that doesn't sort of bring confusion and complexity to their workforce, doesn't diminish productivity, but at the same time doesn't introduce new security challenges. So that's what we're looking forward to, talking to our partners, our customers here at GITEX to showcase the completion of our SASE offering, really.
Okay. You briefly spoke about hybrid workspace as well, how it has changed over the past couple of years. Have you seen a major change in how the security threat landscape has evolved?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really good question. So we've seen as hybrid working has sort of found its status quo, because originally a lot of people just defaulted to just sending everyone home, right? And with COVID and the pandemic. But over time, it's sort of started to balance out where people are still realizing that hybrid working makes sense, maybe 2 days a week or so forth. But absolutely, it has introduced more complexity around attack surfaces, really, for malware, malicious actors that are leveraging the opportunity, really, of that trusted environment that comes with hybrid working to make it work. And we do a threat report that comes out on every month, and what we're seeing is that malicious actors now are using probably cloud in equal amounts as web as their main launch point for threats. So that's been the most significant change that we've seen, is the emergence of cloud as a platform to actually to launch attacks and so forth.
Okay. Can you also tell us about the SSE and SASE products that you're focusing on? What kind of industry verticals are you looking at? Is it oil and gas, BFSI? Where's the demand coming from?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I've been at Netskope now for 8 years, and I've seen the Netskope platform really grow from just something that is focused on purely cloud applications. And then over time, we started to look at how do we secure web transactions as well. And then that came along with things like data, sort of loss prevention or data prevention. And then we've added things like a zero trust aspect to it. So that was the combination of those three things really give you that secure service edge, which Gartner had their first Magic Quadrant with last year. So we're a leader in that quadrant, which is fantastic. And then everything for Netskope has always been about a platform approach, because one of the things I've learned is complexity is the enemy of security. So as people are trying to, CISOs or security architects in organizations are trying to deal with managing hybrid work and so on, they have a couple of choices. They can add new products to their existing portfolio of security products, but inevitably that brings complexity. Complexity will lead to gaps, and that's where the malware and the malicious actors can get in. The other option is to start again, and that's what SASE really is looking at, is how do we help people transform their security and their network so that they can have something that is agile, that doesn't introduce friction, that allows them to launch new business services, but gives them that feeling of complete visibility and control. And that's what Netskope does, because we have this single platform that really deals with any form of transformation, be that cloud, be that web, be that network. And it's really it's primarily there to make sure that we give people the visibility, the security in a simplified manner.
Okay. maybe a couple of years ago, before the pandemic, when it comes to enterprises, data was centralized.
Yeah.
But now with hybrid hybrid working environment, people are working from home or outside the office, and mobile workers and all of that. Data is decentralized. In terms of that, security is a major challenge for C-level executives. So, how is Netskope, working with CXOs and CIOs and helping them, better their security policies and also adopt security solutions that they need to?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, spot on. I mean, that's been one of the central tenets of Netskope from day one, was about contextual information regarding data specifically. So that in the old days, when we start before the pandemic, we'd start talking about the emergence of shadow IT, and then trying to make that matter by saying, well, the context of shadow IT is only important when you start to realize where your data is going, and then you can start to see what that data is and put some security policies in play that react to that information you've got. Because it's no good saying, Chris, you're sending lots of data out to a particular cloud storage platform, but if it's stuff like your family photos, then why would we want to put any security policy on that? But if it's financial information that pertains to your organization that is sensitive, you may want to put some security policy around that. So what we do with our customers and our organizations, CIOs, chief risk officers or CISOs, is we give them context of that data. And you're absolutely right. Zero Trust today, I think, is slightly erroneous not to include data in there, right? So it's absolutely critical to give people the ability to have access to applications and that they need to, but actually we need to go a bit further. It should be specific to the data.
True.
And that's what Netskope is at its core. It's a data protection service.
Okay. In terms of digital transformation, when you look at the security aspect of digital transformation, which many companies were not focusing on when they took on the journey, how has that changed now?
Yeah. It's a good question. I mean, back in the day, again, there was this reluctance almost for security teams to embrace cloud transformation. There was a thinking that was, again, being proven now and understood to be incorrect, that you could control an organization's or secure an organization's activity, users, and data that's in the cloud by using appliances that were on premise. You can't, because that ignores things like hybrid working. It ignores things like the way in which you're perhaps moving services out into your own private cloud, public cloud, etc. Yeah. So security transformation really has come about where teams within organizations have approached saying that the challenge a bit more differently, saying, well, if something's in the cloud, if our data's in the cloud, perhaps our security should be in the cloud as well.
True.
And it really needs to follow the user, make sure that they're given a security solution that really doesn't limit their agility as well, because that's what we've seen. It's really someone working at home where they have unfettered access to the services they need, then they come back into the organization and suddenly they have to go through lots of different security layers. That can give their productivity a bit of a challenge. So there's been that transformation as well.
Okay.
Making sure the security does not impact network performance. That's key.
Okay. In terms of safeguarding IoT devices against cloud threats, what can companies do, and how can Netskope help them with, securing their IoT products as well?
Yeah. So Netskope's really built our platform around giving people visibility of users, activity, services that they're using, regardless of where they are, and data. The missing bit there was really, what are they on? Yeah. So we did some basic sort of stuff saying that, Chris, we can see you on a managed device or an unmanaged device, and there'll be different security policies therein. But it was an incomplete strategy. Okay. So Netskope recently has completed an acquisition of another company, and that's added to our ability to provide that IoT view, really. So we're now able to offer our customers, the CIOs and CISOs, better visibility about the devices that are out there. What type of device are they? What sort of risk posture do they introduce? And if they are risky, we can also do the classic sort of, well, let's partition those into a secure zone until we take further remediation action. Okay. So that's an exciting part of our new portfolio, really. So yes, an important part.
Thank you, Jonathan, for speaking to us. Nice having you here. And,
Absolutely.
We look forward to speaking to you in the future as well.
Thank you so much, Chris. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.